Good morning once again, my dear students. Welcome to another lesson on pedagogical content knowledge in biology. Now, this time around, we are going to look at types of instructional materials, and this is session 2 of unit 5. So, we first look at our objectives for today's lesson. Now, these are our objectives for today's lesson. So, I'm stating that by the end of this session, you'll be able to identify the types of instructional materials and then find the sources of the instructional materials and state the usefulness of the instructional materials. So these are our objectives for the session. Now we begin with audio aids. Audio aids. So this is one type of instructional material. The first one is audio aids. Now audio aids are instruments that enhances learning through the sense of hearing. The sense of hearing. So like you are listening to me and then I'm moving my slides. So this slide you are listening is in the form of audio. So whilst you listen the explanation or whilst you listen to the facilitation, it is in the form of audio form. So this is a simple example. Now audio could be radio, tape, cassette, recorder, recorded players, telephone. All these things are examples of audio. Now, they serve auditory learners better. Auditory learners are people who learn by hearing. They are able to learn very well by hearing. Okay, so those people, they are able to learn very well when they listen. I know some of you are very good auditory learners. Now, they are readily available and not very expensive. So audio aids are not expensive. They are readily available. When you go to the market, you can get the very affordable ones and then you buy and then you use it in your teaching. Now, it can be used by students whose learning style preference is listening, can record and replay events, and can present stimulating verbal messages that aid learning. Some of you are very good in listening. Some of you have good listening skills. They can listen to something and still remember, even if the thing is 10 years ago, 20 years ago, they still remember. Such people, when they are in class and the lecturer is teaching, they listen and then it sticks in their memory, and then that is all. They don't bother going back to read any material again. So those people are very gifted. So this is audio aid. That is one instructional material, audio aid. So we move to the next one. Visual aids. Now this is an instrument that motivates learning through the sense of vision. So with this one, the vision, which means that you see, you learn by seeing. So example, a specimen, models, pictures, slides. So my slides that I am projecting or I am moving from one to the other, some people can learn, they just observe the slides and then they learn what is happening in the slides, and that is all. You don't bother going back to observe the slides again or read the slides again. So those people are very good learners when it comes to vision. So these aids enable students to visualize and form mental pictures of learned concept. So some people have good photographic memories. They have very good photographic memories. They look at the thing and then they picture it in their mind, and then that is all. They picture through vision. They look at it with their eyes and then they picture the content of that particular thing. So we move to the next one. Now we are at audio visual aids. Now the first one we talk about audio aids, and the second one we talk about visual aids. Now the two combined together form audio visual aids. Now, audiovisual aids are a combination of audio and visual aids to stimulate the sense of hearing and sight. Example is television, videotape, cinema, motion pictures. So these are examples of audiovisual aids. Television, for instance, can serve as an audio aid for you to learn. Now, instructional materials can also be classified as either projected or non-projected. So we'll look at that one in our next slide. I believe you understood the audio-visual aids. Now, projected and non-projected materials. Now, when we say projected material, these require the use of electronic devices. Example is overhead projector. This projects some materials on the screen. So, for instance, assuming you were in class, or you were in my class, and then I'll project my slides. The slides I'm moving, I'll project it on the screen for you guys to see. Okay, so when I do that, it's a projected material. I project by using overhead projectors. So if you are in person, then you would see how I project the slides on a screen, and you have a feel of it. Now, the next one is non-projected materials. Now, these are those which can be used in teaching without the use of any electronic device or projector. Example is chalkboard, photographs, models, graphics, charts, specimen. Okay, so these are non-projected materials. Some non-projected materials, it could be photographic prints. Okay, you don't project it, you just print the materials for students to see or to observe. I remember when I was doing my teaching practice about 6 years ago, 6 years ago, I think, yeah. I went to a school where there was no projector, and I had to print the images I wanted students to see. I was teaching classification, so I had to print some images for students to observe. So those things form part of non-projected materials. So we've come to the end of this session, and we have to review what we've learned so far. I've explained the audio aids, visual aids, audio-visual aids. So we have to review this session. I want you students to review the session by answering these questions. So question 1, I'm saying explain the following terms: audio aids, visual aids, audio-visual aids. So these 3 terms, you explain them. Question 2, I'm saying that state 3 uses of audio aids in teaching biology. Question 3, I'm saying write 3 examples of audio-visual aids. All the very best in your review, and I believe you will discuss these questions on any available e-learning platform. You discuss among yourselves.